Tovim and Lila Tov. Morning, good afternoon, day, good evening, no matter where it finds you at. I just wanted to pop on here, let you guys know that I will be having my Zoom meeting again on tomorrow. We'll be sharing with, just having a conversation with Brandon Dodd at 10:30 Pacific Standard Time. And then we will be doing our Zoom meeting. For those of you who have been joining, we will be doing our Zoom meeting at 1 Pacific Standard Time as we continue finishing up as to why it was written that Yeshua would speak in parables. It's going to be a long verse, so I will try to make it as concise as I can. But again, as you've seen, much of the information in the verses, there's so much there. It's layer upon layer. And as we are walking through this, we're being able to see a little bit more clearly. I am not planning on staying here very long, and I don't see anybody joining me yet. And that's why I need you to come and join me. I just wanted to be able to post this and pop on real quick. But I did want to share something from my heart. You probably can sense that I have a sense of heaviness on me today. And that is because I'm still wrestling some things. And this week has been a very enlightening week for me. And the reason why it has been enlightening for me is because I've had many people that have been sharing their thoughts with me. And I'm grateful for it. I can't say that it doesn't sting a little because I'm still in process myself. And I know that people mean well, but I also know that we deal with projections. So what I'm grateful for as I'm working through some of this stuff, and I actually might start crying, and I'm not going to apologize for that. What I am simply going to say is thank you. I thank all of you for your projections. I thank you because this is giving me an opportunity to see if I share are truly lining up or if it's just all in my head. And so when projections come upon me, it's this beautiful moment where I can just kind of sit back and instead of react, which is what Carrie used to do, I can simply sit back, allow the information to flow through me and to check to see if I am truly being authentic or if I've slipped into my ego. And what I'm experiencing through these projections that are coming towards me, first of all, I get to see people as the things that they're wrestling. And I have empathy because it's the same things I wrestled and am wrestling, because I am certainly haven't arrived at the place where I feel like I would like to be. And I'm sorry that the connection is choppy. Let me see if I can move elsewhere because this is important stuff, and I'll go closer to the modem. And maybe this will be better. Okay, this is probably going to be better. It still maybe be choppy, but I definitely don't need that on as bright. Oof. There we go. You can see the inside of my busy house. So what I wanted to share with you again to clarify this, now that we have a better transition, better, smoother stream, is that the projections that have been coming in towards me have been really good for me to check where I'm at. And I'm super grateful for it. When I share from the place of the sum total of my ingathering. And I'm still in partiality, right? You know, all of us have limited perspectives based on where we are in the moment. And when I am sharing from the sacred languages, some of the words that are being used in the sacred languages through definition, through the literal words definitions, may come across as very piercing. And the only reason why they may come across as piercing is because these are things that are being revealed to us that we still need to work on. My heart hurts right now, but it's because I'm grateful. Because it's allowing me to look a little bit deeper on the inside, to see the places that need to have the light brought into those darknesses, into the shadow side of me that still is there. We don't eradicate our shadow. We allow the truth to illuminate the shadow so we can embrace it. Because it is part of us. It's part of our being. It's part of our wrestle. It's the good, it's the bad, it's the ugly, and it's the indifferent of who we are in our vessels, in our incarnations. So, I am not going to claim to be a teacher. I'm not going to claim that I'm a guru. I'm not going to claim that I'm anybody special. In this incarnation, I'm Carrie Husband, who has an ego just like all of us do. And I wrestle from day to day. So when people come to me with their projections, it gives me a moment to pause and reflect to see where I'm at in the moment. To go, is there validity here? Or is this simply a projection? Because really what it does is it allows me to see you and me more clearly. And so as much as it hurts my heart, and the reason why it hurts my heart is because it's separation. My heart beats and registers at oneness unity. My ego says and feels separation. So when projections come forward, at whatever level the projection comes from, I'm not picking on anyone. I'm not going specifically to say the things that were projected on me over the last week, because there's been many. But I embrace every single one of them because truly I asked for this. I had been praying for the refiner's fire to continue to show areas that I needed to have exposed and have light come into the darkness. And all of you who have shared your projections with me have done that. And I'm so grateful that you have, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt, because I feel separation from the ego. And I know that I still need to work on that and stay in my heart, because my heart says we are one. My heart reaches out to you. My heart, when I read comments, it's constantly reaching out to celebrate oneness, unity, and all our differences without judging. Not even judging the comments to say, oh, this person is this, or this person is that, or they're low vibration, or they're immature. It doesn't see any of that. It sees at the place of where one is at, so I can have compassion. Because by having compassion for you, I'm having compassion for myself, because I'm in the struggle as well. We are where we are at based upon the limitations we put upon our own selves. And it has nothing to do with the limitations that people project upon us, because it's their limitations. And so when we can honestly go within and check within our heart, we can then separate out what is and what isn't. If we can see that somebody is projecting, then we can love them more honestly and earnestly based on where they are at, because we too have had the same struggle, because we are one. But if it is my struggle, where is it coming from? Why am I being impacted by the words that are being shared? And generally, it's right because of the ego, because of wanting to be liked or disliked. And, one of the big things that I wrestled with for a while was about my words and being very mindful of what I say and not wanting to hurt someone. Well, it sounds like I'm still hurting people by what I say. in what I share through the languages. But the definitions are there. And I share what I see for the languages. I don't want to sugarcoat anything because I've had to look at it. So, one of the things that I've seen, and this is so difficult, and I hope you can connect with this, because if we don't, we are never going to move past where we are currently in our latest revelation. I may be sharing something. I shared it with Regina regarding the Vitruvius Man, and I'm going to be sharing it tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm going to be sharing it when Brandon and I are talking tomorrow, if it's going to be on my Zoom meeting, but it's going to be shared tomorrow. And I've already shared it with Regina. I already posted and I made the video and everything. I just need to upload it. But the gist of it is this. Whenever we increase in light, so whenever we get a new revelation, whenever we have an increase of knowledge that is coming to us, it's going to reveal the exact opposite in you. Because the light is meant to shed light upon our shadow. So as all of this light information is coming in, and we are getting bombarded with all of these beautiful frequencies that illuminate us, this is the beautiful side and the painful side of the walk of illumination and maturation, because every single new revelation sheds light on part of your shadow. And we can't ignore those things. And we can't continue to project them upon one another because it's your shadow. So as we're increasing in light, the countermeasure is being brought forward to illuminate that which is dark within us. And so when we have a transparent moment, it's because the light is showing the shadow, which is you. It's part of the hidden you. It's the part that doesn't want to be seen. It's the part that you continue to judge and not embrace within you. If all is all, then your shadow is part of all and you can't separate it. So I am very thankful for your projections this week. I am thankful for the unfriending. I am thankful for the unsubbing. Because I'm not trying to win a popularity contest. And I'm not trying to get likes and dislikes or numbers on the channel. I'm sharing. That's all I'm doing. I'm not telling. I'm taking what Spirit has provided me in growing me up from being a spiritually adolescent to a mature adult in spirit, in sovereignty, and all the steps in between, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent. Because it's a very personal journey, and I've allowed mine to be made public. So before we start projecting, or in other ways, hurling stones at one another, I just would suggest that we take a look at them first to see if it's a me issue or a you issue before we project it upon one another. Because all of us are still in process to one degree or another. And there's a reason why gurus remove themselves. Because it takes such work to move, to grow, and to mature. And for some of them, they don't want to get in the messy field with the rest. Because our wrestle, our projections make it difficult. But We need them. We need each other. I welcome the catalysts. I want them, but it doesn't mean that they don't hurt. And you're not more spiritual by denying them to say, oh, it's just water off a duck's back. That doesn't make you more spiritual. It just means you're sweeping things under the carpet that are going to come back up and around, and you're going to have to face them again. The world doesn't need more spiritual people. The world needs authentic, transparent people that are willing to be vulnerable with one another, to share their heart, so that we can see that we are walking this out together. We are in this together. Your wrestle is my wrestle, and my wrestle is your wrestle. So why not extend each other grace and give a pat on the back? Why not take a look at the stones first to see, are they mine? Do I need to be throwing these right now? Do I need to be projecting this on someone? Or is this really about me? Was it something that somebody said that triggered something within me that I need to look at before I project it back on them? This is very hard, and my ego doesn't like admitting these things, okay? My ego doesn't like it at all, but I don't care what my ego says. I want to listen to my heart. My heart says we are one. My heart loves you. My heart sees your journey and your struggle and your wrestle because it's the same as mine. It has nothing to do with a friendship of a like or a dislike, because love supersedes like and dislike. Love supersedes whether you're a friend or not a friend, or whether you're a foe, because love sees all as one. And so when we get into that position of where we are projecting our shadow on other people, then we are loving through conditioned love, because we haven't learned to love ourselves. The time that it has taken each one of us to deal with our shadow, more light's just going to show another part of your shadow. So if you don't want to look at those shadow things, then don't seek the light, because the light is meant to reveal that. People want the Mashiach anointing, but they don't understand the cost that is involved in what you have to face. Because it's not fun. It's not all rosy and cheery. It hurts. But this is how we render it clear, is we allow the light to shine on the darkness so it pierces our heart, so that our heart can be expanded, so that when we speak, we can speak from truth because we've walked it out, not because we read it in a book, or because we're looking to be spiritual, or because we're looking for likes or dislikes, or how many shares we get on our post, or how many times our videos are seen. The world needs authentic people that are willing to bleed from the heart, and not as a pity thing, not because I need somebody to come give me a hug or stroke me because I have mommy and daddy issues. That's not it. It's the point of being able to say, hey, you know what? I'm in a wrestle right now, and I'm going to call it for what it is, but I'm going to be grateful for it. And I'm not going to project it on you. I'm going to see it for what it is. And I'm going to love it because it's part of me. It's part of my journey. It's my shadow. It's part of who I was created as my experience. And you have it as well. So how's this? If you see my shadow and I see your shadow, how about we just love it? How about we just embrace it? How about we say, I see you and I love you? That would be a really good start. Because if I can honestly say, I see you and I love you, then I'm saying it to myself and I'm embracing my shadow. Sometimes it's difficult for us to say it on the inside because some of us have self-loathing For whatever reason, self-loathing is there. Many of us have had to deal with this. But allow other people in your life to be that shadow. And instead of casting stones, take a look at it, see what it's reflecting, and just tell them that you love them. You don't need to point out their shadow because most of us know it's there. Some of us just don't want to face it yet because it takes a brave work. But if you are seeking illumination, if you are seeking Christ enlightenment, the Mashiach, the only way that that is ever going to happen is if you are willing to face your shadow. Because that's the whole reason why new steps of illumination come in. Because to the degree that you are illuminated is the degree in which you are going to see your shadow. You can't separate it. And we need to recognize that we are all in different parts of our maturation. And I know that some people don't like me using the word spiritual adolescence. But part of spiritual adolescence is not recognizing our own shadow. When I speak things, I speak truth as to where I'm seeing it right now. And I don't say it with any bias or to try to make friends. I share these things because they pierce my heart. And I'm not going to come out here with a fake mask on trying to be something for you. I am here to serve the one infinite creator. And by serving the one infinite creator, I am here to serve you. I'm not trying to entertain you. I'm not looking for friends. I'm looking to be the resolve by finding it within me first and then just sharing my journey with you. And if it's too much, it's okay. If it's too much for you, it's okay. If you need to walk away, it's okay. I love you no matter what. And I love you no matter what you project on me, no matter what you hurl on me, no matter what is shared and you think that it's the truth, that I need to hear it. Because that's what good friends do, is they share the truth. Well, I'm sharing the truth back with you. Take a look at your stones first, please. That's what I do. That's why what I'm going to be sharing tomorrow, called Just Let It Be, it was birthed from that. And that video will be released at 10 o'clock, right before Brandon and I go live. This is important for us to really allow it to pierce us, because we're not going to move anywhere unless we deal with it. You cannot move to the next illumination until you deal with your shadow, because it will be seen. Because as we grow and we mature, we begin to see the system that is running, the duality system, and we will see the light and dark. And it comes to the point where these things can no longer be hidden. They will be seen, and they will be plainly seen. But the most amazing part about this is those who have done the work, they love you no matter what. Being naked and bare shows the light and dark, because we were divided into both, so that it can be seen, so that it can be embraced, so that it can be as unconditional love. So thank you. Thank you for your projections this week. Thank you for your honesty, because I needed to look within to see the areas I'm still working on. I'm never going to tell you anything. I'm just going to share from my heart. And if it sticks with you, great. If it pierces you like it pierced me, wonderful. If you need to walk away, that's a beautiful thing as well, because you're wrestling. And I'm not trying to collect people God knows I'm not trying to create a new religion or a new cult or a new fad. This ancient revelations, this isn't anything new. This is something that was forgotten, that was lost, that is coming forward from the time of antiquity. And it was never about a religion. It was about intimacy in a relationship. Intimacy covers the good, bad, and the ugly. Trust me, my husband and I, we've gone through a lot. We've seen the good, bad, and the ugly within each other. And guess what? We have the most intimate relationship you could ever imagine. Same thing with my friend Regina. These are treasures to us that we get to hold on to. So if you reject somebody because, well, whatever reason, because of projections you're putting on them, you might just be throwing away the most beautiful treasure and intimacy you could ever experience because of being real and taking off the masks and being transparent. I'm not hiding anymore. So, if you need to continue to project on me, please do. I can handle it. And the reason why I can handle it is because it gives me a beautiful moment to reflect, to see where I am, to make sure that the words that I am speaking are really truth. Or have I just been a puffed up vessel that is just operating out of ego? When our heart gets pierced, it's a really raw moment for us to look within. That is where the greatest work and the greatest service of mankind can ever be done. And that is why I'm here to say thank you for your projections. And I mean that. This isn't one of those passive aggressive bullshit things. This is truly from my heart saying thank you. Thank you that I could take a step back and see. Thank you that I could take a step back and realize that, yeah, there's a whole lot of us in process still. And I'm glad to see where you are at because it reminds me that we're in it together. And I see those things clearly in me as well. And I love you. I love us for it. I love our journey. I love the messiness of it. I love the anger. I love our tears. I love our frustration. I love our victory and our triumphs. I love the times that we come together and the times where we've had to separate because we just haven't been able to handle the bullshit. Because it's really about us. So when we separate, it's because we can't handle the bullshit within us. We project it outwardly and say, well, I can't handle it because of this and this and this and this and this, blah, blah, blah. All the noise that's going on out there when it's really the noise that's within you. And that's great. Separate for a while. That's a beautiful thing because it's when you do that that you can take a look at all that chaos and that clutter and the noise that was going on the inside and take a look and see that it was really on the inside of you. And then when you're separated, you can work on those things on the inside without having more of that being projected on the outside. You can take that beautiful energy that has been manifesting externally and bring it on the inside. Oh, I'm a mess right now. I got snot dripping and everything. Good thing I'm not trying for a popularity contest because I really don't care. What I care about is your heart. What I care about is my heart because we're all one. So tomorrow, thanks, Brandon. My brother Brandon making me laugh. It's not funny. Yeah, it is. Sometimes the things our bodies do are quite funny and alarming at the same time. And yes, I do see that, Lou Machado, and necessary to cut the cord. If the cord is going to be cut, I will always leave it on the other side, unless it's being abusive. But if it's just your wrestle, I'm never going to cut the cord. Never. Because it's funny that you mentioned that too, cutting the cord. Most of everything that we experience in our trauma is from the time of our birth, when the cord was cut from our mother's womb, when we were pulled out and we experienced being separated for the first time. So when I have hurt, when I'm hurting on the inside because somebody has projected themselves upon me, I hurt because I feel the separation. And now I know where it all comes from. It's from the time I was born and I was separated from my mother's womb. And I felt that separateness for the first time. And I'm reminded of it through the projections. I'm reminded of it in many, many ways. But really, we end up internalizing it and we reject ourselves. And then we project it on other people. Because we can't handle the truth. The shadow is truth. The shadow is you. The shadow is the real you. Not the ego face that we paint on for everybody to see. The truth is that we are one and we've been fractured into two. And it's our job to reunite them. So I'm going to say it one more time. Thank you for your projections. They help me grow. They help me check my heart. They help me to see where I'm taking that light and I need to bring it into the dark, as every step in revelation reveals another shadow, so that I can be all that I can be to serve all of you, so that you can be all that you are to serve me, as we continue to serve one another and we can continue to serve the one infinite creator. It's our process, it's our journey, and we're in it together. So I love you guys. I appreciate you being here. I was only going to talk for 10 minutes. I got a lot to do today before tomorrow. And one last thing I did want to say is I have put together a stockpile of videos, and Ken has a stockpile of videos, and I will be releasing one every day, but I'm not going to be on social media much. And I know for some of you that might be alarming. Just know that I'm here. I need to take a step back and I need to continue. I need to put teachings together, because really I'm at the point where I don't want to share anymore. I don't want to be putting my teachings up anymore, because all it is just me sharing from the place of my heart. What I really want to do is focus on teaching you how to do it, so that those of you who are interested in the sacred languages can do a deep dive by yourself, because really you don't need an external person. You don't need me. You don't need me to be your shepherd or your teacher. And I don't really want to be. I share from what I have because I have an abundance and I want to share it. And yes, I do want to teach it, but I don't want to be your teacher. The languages are your teacher. The spirit is your teacher. I'm just a person that has information that I found to be very helpful. And I need to get off my butt. I need to stop putting stuff out there because I think that it needs to be heard. And I want to stop doing that. I don't want to be making comments to your posts just because I have some element that I have had revealed to me. If you're not asking a question, I don't want to share. And it's not being selfish. It's just being able to go, that's my freaking ego. My heart is that we're all one, and I have nothing to share. If you're sharing your heart, I just want to listen. I just want to sit and listen to what your heart is saying, not to hear my own self speak and what my heart is saying, because who really cares? Only my ego does. My heart is there. My heart is one with you. I'm trying to diminish this ego side that wants to be heard and wants to be seen and wants to be validated, because we don't need that anymore. We already are. So I'm going to be taking a step back. I am going to continue with my conversations with Brandon, because I see that these conversations are good to have. This isn't about the ego. It's about, hey, we're trying to figure this thing out. Can I just ask some questions? Do you have some clarity? Do you have something that might help me? And vice versa. Brandon's got a lot of information too. Greg has a lot of information. Ashley McCosta does. Renee does. Jamie does. Luma does. And whoever else, the 15 or 14 others or 12 others that are on here right here. We all have information from inward formation of that which we have found for us to mature. Derek, you have wonderful information as well. We all do. And we're coming together and sharing it. But I need to focus my energy on getting the teachings together to release you, because I don't have the energy to keep sustaining this. And I get a lot of joy sharing these revelations with you, but rather, hey, Mr. Dean, I'm so glad you're here. And yes, you do know a lot, Mr. Dean. I disagree with that. I love you, and you have an amazing heart. So I'm stockpiling these videos, one a day. Ken's got a lot on his compass so that I can focus on getting these teachings done. And they're going to be lengthy, and I'm not going to share them on YouTube. They're going to be on a different platform because they are sacred, and they only need to be out there for those who want to partake of them. It is my job to help protect these things. So I don't have anything else to say other than please watch your projections. Check them first before you release your words. Before you hit that send button, read what you wrote and check your heart to see if this is really about you. Because as we grow and mature, things won't stick to us because we'll be able to go, oh, yep, that's a projection. But until we get to that place, we're just hurling stones and we're hurting one another by our projections because we don't all have it yet. We're still in the process of maturation. And I know that I'm not where I want to be yet. And I'm never going to say and claim that I am. I'm not even going to complain, or I'm not even going to claim that I'm more spiritually mature than somebody else, because that's pride. That's part of ego that is masking fear. So let me be the transparent one. Let me be the one. I'll do it. I'll let you know it's a safe place. Because I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It only matters to my ego, but it doesn't matter to my heart. Because I've learned to love myself unconditionally, even when I see the shadow side. And I'm not afraid to talk about it. Because you have one too. So tomorrow, there will be a video release that is kind of a precursor setting up for the conversation with Brandon at 10. And then we will talk for about an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes, wherever the Spirit leads us. Please watch your projections. And if it's uncomfortable conversation, then don't listen to it. You don't need to. And then at 12:30, I'll be meeting with my best friend, Regina, for our little girl time from 12:30 to 1. And then at 1 o'clock, I will be continuing on with why parables are mentioned. And Greg, yeah, if you want to go back to the beginning, I will just simply say this. There was a lot of projections that happened this week that were aimed towards me. And you can watch the beginning of it if you want, but it's not really necessary. I mean, whatever. I just wanted to be coming to the place just to let you guys know that I love you, and I thank you for being a catalyst for me. I thank you for being sandpaper for me. Because really, as we keep rubbing each other, we're rubbing the grit off one another so that we can be smooth and polished. Brandon has a wonderful thing that he shared about a sword, that the sword doesn't really like being sharpened until it's being used on the battlefield. And then it's grateful for the grinder's wheel. So I'm grateful for the sandpaper. I am grateful that you are my sandpaper and I am your sandpaper. Because when we get together, when we first get together, ooh, that grit is rough. 80 grit sandpaper, have you ever felt it? How about 60 grit? Woo! It's kind of like a cat's tongue. Don't like them licking you because, it's not fun. It's sandpaper. But the more you wear that, the finer the grit gets. And then when we get to 240 grit, and then we get into the higher polishing grit, we don't feel it anymore. And that's what we are for each other. Not only are we the grinding wheel or the grindstone, but we are the sandpaper. So thank you for being that for me. Thank you for your projections. I've now said that, what? 5 times? 6 times? Because I truly mean it. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Or the ones who want to join. And if you don't want to join and you can't, the replays will always be available. But I needed this week to happen. I needed it. Because I can still see I'm in process. And being humble and teachable is a beautiful, beautiful place to be. And if your ego says anything else different, it's your wounds. It's your wounds. Because I can tell you what, I can always learn something from you. You teach me all the time. And I'm listening. And I'm waiting for the next interaction that I get to learn something else from you. Shalom, shalom.